All right, Willow, what do you think? Chanterelle time, right?
Yeah, I can't even see you because it's too close.
We're headed out mushroom hunting, and for some reason my kids think that includes binoculars. Ready, Mommy?
Yeah, I'm always ready.
All right, so we're gonna give it a try. Oregon chanterelle hunting. And I feel pretty confident given that we have this goofball's book. Why? Truck or minivan? We've decided that minivans are made for mushroom hunting. Hunting with the kids. All right. So guys, we got mushroom essentials. We got water. We got our makeshift mushroom bag. What else we got? Oh yes, this book. Mom, come on! We got the minivan tires. All aired up. I feel like this is like the opposite of an elk hunt. Like, no truck, like minivan, air them up, get 2 or 3 more PSI in the tires so they don't have a little indicator, cruise down the little mountain road to go chanterelle hunting.
It's very soft.
I like it though. It's soft but awesome. And yeah, we got the book, buddy. The Mushroom Man book, it's in the back. I don't want to give it to you, you'd probably chew on it or something. We're going to Washington, where it's a little bit wetter. The best chanterelle hunting is actually in Doug fir, old growth Doug fir with moss on the ground. So that's what we're looking for. And we're not going home until we find some chanterelles. What is that?
Moss.
What does moss indicate?
Mushrooms?
Perfect spot for mushrooms, moss. And then this is Doug fir. You can see how gnarled the bark is. This stuff is Oregon grape, guys. See this? It's a telltale sign where you're gonna find chanterelles. Is where there's a lot of that Oregon grape. Are ridiculous cool looking.
Dad, I can do that.
What do you think, guys? Look on the back. So guys, this I believe is very close to guys, I think this is a lobster mushroom. Found an assortment of other mushrooms that are up for identification, but the lobster mushroom was a good find. Other than that, it's tough pickings. On to the next attempt. We're on the chanterelle hunt again. Seems like a good spot, right? See all the moss? Will, let's see it.
I found that.
That's what those lobsters grow off of those.
Oh yeah, we saw a lot of those, huh? Good job, Will.
The lobster's a fungus on a fungus.
Touch it.
Wyatt, how many do we gotta get? I think we need to find 5. Yeah, 5 is enough. Hold on, Wyatt, hold on. Grab it low. Grab it low. Here, hold on. Show it to Uncle Ty.
Oh, they were there too.
Oh yeah, buddy! Yeah.
Now stay right here. I guarantee there's more. So don't take too many steps.
Hey, the main thing is listen to Uncle Ty. What was cool is Wyatt saw it and it was mostly covered up. It was just elevated a little bit. right, so we got this wad of chanterelles actually back home. So the first thing I did when I got them home is I actually just went through them and just got all the, big chunks of dirt. I couldn't get all of it off. So there seems to be, two trains of thoughts on this. A lot of people say never put them in water. Don't ever put water on them. It ruins them in some culinary way or something like that. I needed to get them a little bit cleaner, so I did that. I basically just got a little water and I dipped them into that. And you can feel them, like they will soak up the water quickly. So you want to do that just real briefly for sure. But anyways, I just dipped them in, took a paper towel and wiped off as much as I could. And I trimmed them up too. And like the first thing I did is I just took a little knife like this and I went to the stems and I just trimmed off, the little dirt clods that came with the mushroom if they were pulled out. We actually tried to cut a lot of these mushrooms off when we picked them, but we had our kids with us and they actually pulled a bunch of them up where there was that little dirt clot on it. I'd say like a huge tip, particularly if you're collecting chanterelles with kids, is take the extra time before the mushrooms go into the mushroom bag and just clip off that little stump at the bottom here. This one's nice and clean, but there's a chunk here that ends up being like a dirt clot on it if they get pulled from the ground. Cut that off, and then also while you're at it, just knock off all the dirt anywhere you can see it before it goes into the mushroom bag. These mushrooms, 60% of them were pristine when we picked them, like maybe just shook a little dirt off of them and they looked pristine. And then like 20 or 30 of them had a little dirt on them, had one of those little dirt clods I was mentioning, but they all went into the mushroom bag, which got all of them dirty. So the main thing is just try to keep them all clean before they go in the mushroom bag. But anyways, those were the two ways that I went ahead and cleaned them. They got pretty darn clean. I don't think we're gonna have any problem. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just cut them up into smaller pieces. Obviously, we're not dealing with really consistent sizes, right? So these are both chanterelles. Boom, you can see that. I mean, this one here is like 10 times the size of this one. So I'm obviously going to have to cut them down to the same size just so I can practically get them cooked. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually cut them up where we can saute them so they're all the same size. I'm going to show you how I saute them. And then what we're going to do is we're going to vacuum pack them so we can use them with a bunch of different meals in the future. A matter of fact, I'm going to go whitetail hunting in a couple days, so I'm sure I'm going to bring back some whitetail backstrap, and so I'll cook some whitetail with the chanterelles just to show you how those two go together. But that's the essential process. I'm just going to jump into it here. So I've got them cleaned up and sliced up, ready to get sauteed. A bunch of chanterelles. So one of the problems with butter is it burns, but you want it because that's what kind of gives this kind of stuff, either like mushrooms or onions, that caramelized look and feel and taste. So you want the butter for that, but the problem with it is it burns. So you can use it with olive oil that actually burns at a much higher temperature. You can mix the two, and then you can get the best of both worlds. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to do it on two different pans at once here. I'm going to do the onions and the garlic in one pan, and then I'm going to do the chanterelles in another pan just because they're going to cook at different rates, and then we'll mix them together at the end. So just a good slick of olive oil in each, and then I'm going to put a grotesquely sized chunk of butter by most people's standards, but standard size of butter by my standards in each pan. Big slab of it. Bunch of onions. those cooking. We'll add some garlic. Quite a bit of garlic, really. It's gonna take us a couple different batches for sure to get all these cooked. Try not to whack my head on that thing. Here I'm putting the mushrooms in there where there's nice like single layer. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cook these mushrooms down where they look like they're cooked. Everybody knows what a cooked mushroom looks like. And then by then, the garlic and onions here will be cooked down. And then I can just start adding the finished chanterelles to this. And that way, we'll let it cool down that pan while we keep cooking the rest of them. So once the mushrooms are cooked down just a little bit, and like a lot of the moisture comes out of them, you can just add a little bit of salt to kind of your taste. All right, so there's the finished product. A wad of chanterelles sauteed up. We're gonna put them in a vacuum bag like this, just in little portions so we can use them for future meals. That's the setup.